Good morning, family. Listen, I have a sincere question that I want my brothers to answer, and my sisters, you can give your opinions as well, right? Chime in on this. I want to know, why are some men, I can't say all because I don't know all men, right? So I can only speak from my own personal experiences in this lifetime thus far. There are a lot of great men who give me advice, a lot of elders. But as far as when it comes to... Stop, guys, stop. Please. But as far as when it comes to some men, I have lived to experience that there are a lot of men who are intimidated by strong women. Not all. There are many men who are secure within themselves, and the strength of a woman does not intimidate them. They have no problem learning from a woman, teaching a woman what they know, and actually encouraging her strength and all of that. But then there are some men who are very evil and very spiteful towards women. And they turn this way sometimes when they don't get the response or from a woman that they want, or I feel like they can't use a woman in a certain way. They do very spiteful and wicked things, and even sometimes it can be a lot of distance, time, and years between them and you. But it's like for some reason they'll keep resurfacing doing spiteful things. And I want to understand this, because it seems very, very wicked to me, and I really don't get it. Okay? I've experienced where some men who you've never had a relationship with, you don't want a relationship with, you've never even gotten into an argument with, but your spirit just don't click with them. I've been in a situation where I've had a younger brother who has tried to speak ill of me to another guy that asked for my telephone number. And the guy didn't even know me personally. It's just a conversation we were having about some business things. And this brother that whispered to him and told him, don't get her number, don't get my number, try to make it look like I was a bad person. He doesn't personally know me on a personal level. Never dated me or any of that. That was very weird. Seems very demonic, right? I know we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. So spiritual warfare also plays a bit here. But I also want the brothers to give an answer as well. And then what brought me to this morning as well, made me just reflect on a lot of these different scenarios where men are just, some men, not all, where some men, I know my uncles, especially one of my favorite uncles, my mama's oldest brother, has always been a teacher to me. That's where I have a lot of my strengths from. My father's brother has also taught me a lot of things. He's a master diesel mechanic. Both of them are mechanics, welders, builders. They can do anything in this world, just about build or fix anything. And so I also have learned a lot from my uncles as well. I know what healthy men look like. I also know what dysfunction looks like. I kind of was in the middle of two families and grew up in dysfunction. I also have on one side of my family a lot of healthy marriages, ranging, even my cousins and going to my older uncles, ranging from years of 20 to 53 years in marriage. So I know what a happy wife looks like. I know what a happy husband looks like. I know what healthy marriages looks like. I also know what dysfunction looks like as well, right? And I thank God for those experiences. But what I want to understand is, why are some men just very spiteful? Several years ago, there was this young guy. He and I would talk on the phone a lot. He traveled. He worked out of the country for work a lot, military operations and stuff like that. And he's a young guy. We were younger. Back then, I was in my 20s, right? I think I was in my maybe mid-20s. I bought my first home at the age of 21, right? And so I've always worked. So this guy and I would talk for a very long time, over the phone and stuff like that. We never got into a committed relationship, never had sex or anything like that. We were learning each other. We were friends. I would speak to him a lot. I was busy in my career. He was busy in his as well. And I noticed he would mention several years ago, like when he move back home, he would always say, I can move in with you, and then I can pay half of everything. And I never agreed to that, but I didn't understand why he was so adamant about wanting to move in with me, and he would offer up front to pay half for everything. Like I didn't need him to move in with me and pay half for everything, but I never really agreed with that. He would always just keep throwing these things out. But my spirit never really, my guards never came down off of my heart with him, right? And so it got to the point where, as we continued just to keep in touch and stuff, I just could discern some inconsistencies, and I was able to catch him in some, little lies and stuff like that. So anyway, we ended up, just distance ended up becoming between us or whatever. I think I cut communication after some time. Well, several years went by. He later contacted me to see how things were going. I had started a business then or whatever. And then he told me he was getting married. So I'm like, oh, cool. It didn't hurt me, didn't faze me in no kind of way, because I kind of figured he probably was talking to somebody anyway based on some inconsistencies, because you just pop up, move back home, and now you're getting married. So I wished him well. Then he contacted me some time later, I think about maybe 5 years ago or so, 4 or 5 years ago, asked was I still running my business, and said he wanted me to do a service from him, and he wanted me to hire me to come and deliver stuff to his house in Georgia for him and his wife. And so that never set well with my spirit, because I think it's very disrespectful for a woman to go to another woman's house knowing that now he's married, and you, even though we weren't involved, but there was some type of connection there. He wanted to be a part of my life. So I told him, I said, does your wife know that you actually were, interested in me, that you actually liked me and you wanted to move in? Does she know anything about me? He was like I said, he still wanted me to come and do this thing for him. And I said, well, I don't feel comfortable coming to your house. I really don't want to know where you live. At that time, I was training another young guy to start his business. So I said, I have another brother who I could put you onto, and he could do that job for you. And so he got upset. He said that he wanted me to do it. It was like this real cold, demanded thing. And I said, no, I'm not going to be able to do it, and I'd rather not keep in contact anymore. So that was it 5 years ago, and I just thank God that I dodged that bullet. I dodged a lot of bullets thanks to God, and so that was 5 years ago. So this guy's not in my mind. I shouldn't be in his mind. All of a sudden now I just get a phone call from a collection agency of recovery services. They called asking for him, his first and his last name. And I'm like, wait a minute. I said, huh? Why are you calling me? This is the number we were given. This is the number they're trying to collect this debt. And I said, no, this is not him. This is not his number. You sure? Questioning me and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is not his number. Please don't call back to this number again. Now, what I can't get is the psychology behind this. I really don't understand it. It seems very psychotic, along with being demonic. But why? Why would he even give this a collection agency my number? Why would I even still be on his mind if he's married? And see, this is a thing where people need to take their time and get married, men and women. Don't marry for money. Don't marry for sex. Don't marry for physical attributes, because these things change, and people now is buying stuff, and you don't know what's real and what's fake unless you can fully examine it. Marry for love. Marry because the spirit is tied together, and God is showing you that this is your rib and this is where you've come from, and this person can protect you. This is the union in God, because there will be trials and tribulations, and you got to know how to see in the spirit and pray in the spirit. Somebody can't protect me spiritually. I don't care about the physical stuff. You can have the biggest muscles in the world and still not be able to protect me spiritually. I don't care about none of that. Life is spiritual, and this is serious. And so this thing just baffles my mind. So if you are happily married, and then not only that, obviously things ain't going good in your finances, unjust don't prosper. So I feel so sorry for that lady that was sucked into that marriage, but I couldn't be tricked, and only God get the glory for that. But I want you guys to chime in, brothers and sisters. Hey, how you doing? Brothers and sisters, chime in as well. But particularly I got a lot of good brothers on here. I be seeing y'all. Y'all be commenting. Some of y'all be sending prayer requests and stuff. So chime in as well. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. I'm only human, So I listen and I pay attention to a lot of you guys' feedback. I like that. That's what we should do. That's fellowship. But chime in and give a little more context to this type of scenario. If somebody is supposed to be married, happily married, what is the psychology behind giving somebody who've never really been in a relationship with, but somebody from your past, giving their number, keeping their number all this time to a collection agency? Is it just spiteful, evil behavior? And what would fuel that? Right? What would fuel that? Gosh. But anyway, that's all I want to share. Let me get on and do what I got to do. Y'all have a blessed day. Share your thoughts, share your opinions. I'm open to listening to your feedback.